Let's talk about the three aspects of doing business: revenue, overhead, and taxes. Revenue is money from all sources, client fees, and any other income that your private practice produces. Overhead is all of those costs of doing business. We'll go into that in a moment. And then, of course, taxes on the money that you earn. Here's a simple formula. Revenue minus overhead equals your gross income, minus taxes that you owe equals your net income. Now let's expand the idea of overhead costs. Overhead can be things such as rent or lease payments. It can be the cost of printing and promotion. Also the cost of electronics, which is a much bigger cost these days, including computers and printers and personal devices. All those things that help you communicate are all part of overhead. What about furniture or books or resources that you use in your private practice? There's also the cost of doing business financially, the cost of banking, the cost of merchant services if you choose to take credit cards in your private practice. And then there's a cost that we often don't consider. The cost of being sick and not being able to work, or the cost of client cancellations, or the cost of taking vacations. These kinds of overhead costs can range anywhere from 15% clear up to 40%. Now let's take another look at taxes. We're all familiar with the income tax. That can range from 15% to 30% or more, depending on what you earn. But there's also FICA, Social Security tax. If you're self-employed, you're paying both halves of that, the rate of 15.3%. If you're employed, of course, your employer pays half of that, but you still pay 7.6% towards Social Security. If you're a corporation, you might have corporation taxes that are due as well. And then there's something called business property tax. If you don't own the building that you work in, then you're paying a lease. And you're liable to pay for the furniture and fixtures that are part of your business. Since you're not paying property tax, you pay what is called business property tax.